Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we are going to be talking about Casper. As you guys already know, I'm very bullish on this asset, but today we're going to be talking about a lot of things. We're going to be addressing, a few little memes and stuff like that in the market, as well as kind of talking about some other stuff that are pretty interesting to say the least, especially in regards to what's happening with Casper right now currently. And we're also going to be addressing the chart. So with that in mind, sit back, relax, and before we fully jump into this video, I just want to ask if you guys could please leave a like. It does help the channel grow immensely, and I do greatly appreciate it. But with that in mind, let's jump into the market. So today we're seeing a little bit of, a few waves kind of flowing throughout the market. Not too good, not too bad, just kind of, sitting stable still at least. Of course, the market is reacting to the stocks today because the stocks did have a little bit of a volatile day, which is 100% expected since we are in a new month. We are in December, so I do suspect that we will see some waves throughout the market in a good way. Of course, we still have our eyes on Ethereum as the dominance is at about 20.65%, and we do see Bitcoin dominance at about 41%. We are seeing Ethereum dominance at a major high level now, and it does not seem to look like it's slowing down at all, which is also very bullish for a lot of our altcoins. We are not seeing a lot of alts kind of popping right now. I mean, there's a few that are pretty much doing a little bit of movement, but for the most part, the market is kind of stable for altcoins. And of course, Casper is one of them. Right now, Casper has just been kind of ranging around the 20 centile range. It's cooling off a little bit, which is expected. We're also going to be talking about the chart for this one, and we're going to be addressing a few concerns or just kind of just addressing overall what's happening with it. Now, trading volume is down about 45.68%. which is totally fine. We are ranging around like the 20 cents mark, which is totally cool as well. For anybody who did want to jump into this asset, I definitely look at about 19.5 cents, maybe a little bit lower as well. We're going to be talking about that. But with that in mind, before we fully jump into this video, I just want to let you guys know that the Ultimate Crusader Trading Bundle Pack is still on sale, 35% off until the end of December. And yeah, if you guys are interested in a lot of my stuff, like my trading indicators, my top picks, how to, find undervalued gems and stuff, the Ultimate Crusader Trading Bundle Pack is the best deal for your buck. Of course, there's a ton of other stuff on here, like my Casper long-term and even short-term, exit plan and stuff like that. So if you guys are interested, definitely come to the website, NCashOfficial.com. Links are down in the description below as well as in the comments below. The Ultimate Crusader Trading Bundle Pack does include everything on the website as well as all feature content for free. So with that in mind, let's move on. So we do see here now, this is obviously a little bit of a meme, and like I've said, people are only seeing the tip of the iceberg for what Casper is doing. There is still a lot of stuff to actually be unveiled, even this month. We see, the automated market maker that's going to be released. We look at the launch pad that's going to be released this month as well, and I'm sure there's going to be listings happening because we aren't on major exchanges. We are on a few, but I suspect a Binance, a Coinbase listing, a KuCoin listing. There's a lot of, major exchanges out there still waiting to list Casper, and I believe that it would be in their best interest to do so, because if we do look at the price performance in just the last 30 days alone, now this was updated yesterday, we were up 111.77%. We were the top gainer over Avalanche, BSC, Ethereum, Solana, Bitcoin, Polygon, Polkadot, Near, Cardano, Cello, and even Phantom. So, in my opinion, I'm just saying, there's a lot of money that still has yet to flow into Casper. But of course, we have to cool off. We did rise a significant amount, and we're going to be talking about that as well. Now, we do see here, Casper refueling, consolidating in a bullish wedge on the 4-hour. Back test of 20 cents in progress. Solid support at about 18.5 cents. Key zone to be flipped to support. 4-hour RSI oversold. And I do completely agree. We're going to be talking about this. We're going to be addressing where we can go in terms of a lower point. But I do suspect that this is us just kind of refueling for the next major move up. Like I said, Casper is more than ready to have a massive move. And of course, shout out to Casper Market on Twitter. Now we also see here Casper taking time. It is. We have to come down, gain some support. But this goes all the way back to the 28th. Okay. this was pretty much when we were trading at about, I think it was like 14.5 cents or something like that. I don't know. It was something, I don't know the price specifically on this date at this time, but we do know that it is targeting about 31, almost 32 cents next, and after that it's 81, $1.40, and possibly even $8. So understand what you hold, understand where we will go, and you shall understand exactly what you hold at this point if you guys haven't been doing the research, because if you don't know what you hold right now, definitely do research, because then you'd suspect that $8 is fairly cheap still for Casper. Now we do see here, oh mama, from Kevin Cage, Casper AOBT. Now if you guys don't know, I love Alliance Block. I've talked about Alliance Block many times on this channel, and yeah, something's brewing. AOBT is now a validator on Casper. Now I was not aware of this, but shout out to AOBT Bull on Twitter. But check this out. 96.9% performance first off, and self-stake 1.5 million Casper, total stake 48.6 million Casper, 5% commission rate, total delegated rewards 546,752, and of course total validator rewards 1.5 million. So this is pretty interesting, and honestly, I think that this is pretty cool to see. I think that if we do see an Alliance Block Casper partnership in the future, I think that that could be very interesting as well. But this is, of course, a validator node. If you guys don't know what that is, essentially this is pretty much, you could run a node all day long in crypto and pretty much earn residual income. More so, this is like staking and stuff. So this is still pretty cool, and I think that this is awesome. Alliance Block also, just so you guys know, Alliance Block has a staking platform built into its ecosystem, which I don't know if anybody who's watching this watched my Alliance Block videos or pretty much holds Alliance Block, but yes, this does have a ton of stuff like with liquidity mining. It does have Alliance bridges and stuff like that, and a DeFi terminal. But this does, you can pretty much stake a lot of stuff within the Alliance Block ecosystem. I don't know if there is any staking pretty much available, because I know that it was a huge demand, but still, this is pretty cool to see nonetheless, especially something like this on Casper. I think that that's awesome. Now, let's talk about the Casper charts, because these are fairly interesting. So, in terms of what is happening, I was waiting for us to test the 786, which we did not hold. We got this confirmation yesterday that the 786 was not going to hold, which we know in crypto that the 702 is a key point for us to retest on multiple assets, especially Bitcoin. Bitcoin is very popular in terms of testing the 702, or pretty much breaking above it, which, us breaking above the 702, gaining some traction above it on the 29th was very bullish for us. But now it looks like we are going to probably come down and retest it possibly. I do have this line here, because this is support going all the way back to June 28th, or I shouldn't say it's support, it's resistance, sorry. It's more so resistance going back to June 29th and June 30th, and this could be our resistance point even going back to the 27th and the 28th, of course, before we broke out. Now, I'm looking for us to retest this perfectly. We did not. We retested about 19.5 perfectly, which I did say in the Discord we could be seeing that range. But I suspect that we could be seeing a test of the 702, which would be at about 18.95 or almost 19 cents exact. The major support zone is actually down here at about 18.27, as you guys do see that support being printed there 2 days in a row. But I suspect that if we do come down low, the lowest point that I do believe that we test will most likely be the 618, which would be about 17.5 cents, but I don't think that we go that low. I think that there's a lot of support on the way down. For an example, I believe that the 702 would be our perfect retest of a bottom support, just so you guys know, in terms of the price percentages. If we do drop down from here, this would be about a 21.05 pretty much retest, which is totally fine in my opinion. If we're talking about from the bottom here, we already did about an 85% run up. So, us cooling off with a 21.05% drop is totally healthy, and I think that that's totally fine. But after this does get cleared, I suspect that our next major levels will be around the 28 to 35 cent level, which I do believe that the 1618 is going to be the next major point for us to really kind of look at, because I've even been talking to you guys about for the longest time. These major levels up here, which is like around almost 32 cents, 31.97, which is the resistance point going back to June 3rd and also June 4th. I believe that that is going to be the next major retest or test of resistance after we do break out above the 24 centile range. But of course, we could also test about 30 cents as well, because this is resistance as well. There's a lot of resistance points that aren't too strong, because during this entire time we were in like a massive, downward trend. So a lot of these resistance points aren't strong resistance. And the major clarification for that, or the major sign of why these are not major resistance points, is look at how fast we did break out of this resistance point going all the way back to June 29th and June 30th. I mean, we pretty much smashed through it. Of course, we had to retest it a few times to make it weak, because the more and more that we retest a level, or it could be support or resistance, it does weaken it every single time. So, in terms of what I'm looking for right now is just the next major move upward. We do have to wait for that, verification or validation on the chart, but I suspect that we are looking fairly good for some major levels to be targeted next after we do break out officially. And of course, in terms of the Bitcoin pair, because I know that a lot of people are probably, thinking, well, dude, you always say that the USD pair or the USDT pair on this one does not really matter too much, and that is the truth. We always have to look at the Bitcoin pair, because the Bitcoin pair does look a little bit weaker. In fact, we've actually broken down below some significant levels, but we did get a rejection off of the 702. Okay, we tried to peek above it, but we got rejected off of it, which we came down and retested some lows here. I think our major support level, like I said, is the point where we are looking at about 337 sats. It almost got tested perfectly. We dipped down a little bit below it, but it's totally fine. We could have a candle peak below it. This is almost on the 0.5 fib level, by the way. But overall, I think that this still looks fairly good. I want us to peak above the 702 and actually gain some momentum above it. As you guys do see, that's about almost where the resistance points from August 7th and August 8th are. I think that a clear break above this level, and possibly even a range above 786, the 786 fib level, and gaining some support around this point would be very bullish for us. And this will also, bleed into the USDT chart and show us how bullish this asset could actually really be once we do gain some traction up here, because on the Bitcoin pair, there's really not too much resistance after we do claim that level. So I'm extremely bullish on this asset, as you guys already know, but we have to clear some levels and we have to range for a little bit of time, which I suspect that this is probably the best time to really kind of accumulate a little bit more Casper for anybody who has been, waiting for a strong dip. This is pretty much it, right? Because even in the past, when we had this strong dip back here, this was in November. This was November 16th all the way to about November 19th. It was that like sort of, shaky time in the market where a lot of people were they didn't know what was going to happen. This is pretty much a 27.16% drop. And again, if we're looking at this, could we come down lower and retest this point here or the 618? Yeah, it's possible. And this would be about a 27% drop in price as well. This would be at about 17.5 cents. Like I said, that's a strong point as well to retest. But like I said, we still have to break significant support up here. It's more so resistance, not too much support, because we haven't really gained major support up here. But it looks like we could be finding a lot of support at around the 19.5 centile range, or the 1940 range. So overall, just to give you guys my clarification on things, things look fairly good in terms of Casper. In terms of the relative strength index, or the RSI, it's not, it's not overbought at all. It's not even oversold. It's kind of just in between. It looks still fairly good. On the 4-hour span, we are seeing a little bit of a sharper decline, which is totally fine, and we are seeing a little bit of a bearish momentum on the chart, but it's not too bad of a level to actually look at, because right now we still have that strong bounce at around the 19.5 centile range, and it still looks fairly good. We retested the 50 RSI point perfectly. Could we see a bounce from here? Yeah, it's 100% possible, similar to even going back to November 4th, where we had a strong little bounce. It wasn't too crazy, but it did end up with us going lower. So in my mind, I still think that we should be retesting a point at around, like I said, the 702 point, which would be at around 19 cents. I think that that is a perfect test. I think that allows us to go higher. And like I said, that would be, we don't have to repeat the same percentage fractal drops like this 27% one. This would be about a 21% drop, which is totally fine. That's totally healthy. And it does allow us to have a strong, pretty much upside potential move next, because this would be a perfect 702 retracement. So with that in mind, I hope that clarifies where you guys could essentially see Casper at. And like I said, always look for, some buying opportunities on something like this, because I know a lot of people have been, pretty much commenting on my Casper videos or commenting in the Discord saying, I wish I found out about Casper earlier. Well, guess what? You can't go back in time and fix those mistakes, but you could definitely accumulate Casper when it does have a nice pullback. And I suspect that around the 19.5 cents to around 19 cents is a strong point. I even tweeted out today saying 19.5 cents to about 21 cents is a fairly good point to pretty much accumulate a lot more Casper for anybody who is interested. And like I said, this is a very strong asset. I don't need to tell you guys that. You probably watched my videos on it and probably heard me say it a million times at this point. So definitely look forward to accumulating possibly at around the 19 centile range for anybody who does want to have a nice entry point. But with that in mind, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or beautiful night, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.